Welcome, your faces, to Pommy and Alls. Hope we're all doing really well. Welcome to the AFL off-season live in what was another undramatic day. It's almost like the AFL has added days to the trade period over the years, and there isn't enough content. But that's why we're here. So you don't have to listen to 9 hours of AFL radio, and we condense it into it. So simply, you know what? I've been nice today. I haven't roped someone into doing this with me because there isn't a load to talk about. But we'll get straight into it. The first cab off the rank is Peter Bell up at Fremantle is confident, quotations, really confident that Andrew Brayshaw will stay with Fremantle, putting a little bit of sand on the pommy fire of his bold call that we will see Chad Warner go to Fremantle and Brayshaw end up at St Kilda. Very interesting that they're talking about this before he's out of contract 25. I mean, I don't want to say that there's something there. Mine was just an off-the-cuff remark to wind my good mate up, Damo. But obviously one to always watch this space on. I always do say, when clubs talk too much about something that's not really relevant, always look at it. Just look at it in isolation. Good day to you all as well. The beautiful Kate, Says, Ryan and Mel, good day, Gerard, Lou, Matty, Darren, Matt, Paul, the legend that is. Great to have you all here. He also said that they've put together a strong offer for Shea Bolton. Now, Shea Bolton has nominated the football club that is Fremantle. Fremantle are going to be very active this window. And the good thing about Fremantle being super active this window is it's not really affecting the world, as it were. A lot of these clubs that are involved in these deals, that they're really, really doing it. Really, really doing it. Now, they have put forward pick 10 and pick 18 is what the rumours are. I think that is an awful lot. But there is talk that that is being a compromised salary. So that is being partly paid by Richmond. So that makes sense, which gives Richmond a really good draft arsenal. And if you've watched the draft video we've done today, just to take you through what's going on and how the match picks work, could be a really intriguing one. That's one that I really want you to watch, because if they get 10 and 18, they are really cooking on the old hot stove. They're really cooking, and they're going to be one of them teams that's really going to define this. They're going to really define what happens in the trade period, Richmond, because they're going to have picks at the back end, which no doubt will go to Brisbane, as we said. All their 40s will go. But they're going to be a real intriguing one for me to watch. They're going to be definitely one that I'm super excited about watching. Cal Toomey announced Dan Houston. Collingwood look destined to sign him, which we've covered at length in here, to be fair. We've covered that one at length. So why are Collingwood favourites to sign him? Well, one, Gold Coast have come out and said that they're dealing with Collingwood first, which you'd have to be an idiot to mess that up. I want to specify this. If Collingwood mess that trade for pick 13 up, when they're already talking about Noble, Richmond have come in, which we're going to talk about in a minute, and kind of kibosh the Rioli deal. It's a very easy deal. Also, you've got to remember that Port Adelaide are linked with Joe Richards, John Noble, Jack Lacocious. All of them are in kind of like they're like the axis in this deal. They really are the axis for Carlton in this one. That is a real watch this space, because the more they blow smoke up Collingwood's arse, the more you can make a mistake. Doing this for a long time with you guys and girls, as you know, when anyone is the heads-on favourite to get a deal done, it always screws up. And Jack Lacocious also has underlined Port Adelaide, no if, buts and maybes. That's it. So that is going to be really, really fascinating with the Jack Lacocious deal, because obviously then Gold Coast are in a fascinating position because pick 13 has no bearing for them. So no, Gold Coast haven't said they don't want to do the 13 deal. The stymie at the moment is Collingwood want 23 coming back. So why that may be stymied is 23 appears to be used in the deal for Rioli because evidently Richmond have become the harshest people. So if you remember when we were talking about pit matches, 23 and 29 hold no value to Gold Coast for the Lombardo bid. So it's obvious that they're looking for future assets. So the 23 one looks really funny. Damo's spot on. Gold Coast doing this for so many years that we have created inflation. Houston wants to come to us. Zach, that has zero bearing on this trade, as covered by myself with Terry, myself with Let Dog, Cow Toomey, Dan Hanbury. Doesn't really have any bearing at all when you are more than 1 year on your deal, especially when he's declared Victoria. So we have to get the deal done. All it does with this pick 13 is make us have to wait. And should he wants to do that, it won't reduce the price. And obviously, for the reasons we just explained, Gold Coast have to do business with both Port Adelaide and Collingwood. And that is probably more important than any nomination, because as we've seen when Sauce was our list manager and used to play hardball, if you start to piss off list managers, them deals don't get done. So Gold Coast paramount thing here is getting into next year's draft, getting Noble done, getting their business done. Port's priority, they've already said Dan Houston isn't a priority to leave for them. Jack Lukosius is a priority, confirmed today by their list manager and Jack Lukosius' agent. And Joe Richards has nominated them. So their business is going to be really focused on getting that deal done. So them three parties have got to play pretty fair. Fremantle, having offered 10 and 18 for Shai Bolton, have said that pick 11 will stay with the club. So Damo will be happy. Pick 11 is on the cards, though, if it doesn't go for the Bolton deal. And Caleb Daniel said he won't request a trade. And as we covered at length yesterday, Richmond looks set to land pick 20 from Brisbane for them picks in the 40s. Big shout out my mate John Ralph, who has stolen 2 articles now on that one. So I hope you're doing well, Ralphie, mate. Hope you're all right, mate. Much love to you. Jake Stringer appears destined to go to GWS. And the early form is they're looking at doing a deal for Dylan Shield and Jake Stringer, according to reports on Trade Radio today, which is a real fascinating aspect because I think when you look at Dylan Shield, he's definitely behind the midfield there. You look at their midfield at GWS, they've definitely got it. He has got that POD, though, of that pace through the midfield. These kind of deals that GWS are doing, which is a real stray from the norm of GWS, really says to me that they're maybe slightly hitting the panic button from the way that they've gone out in finals in the last year. But it does look like that. Initial offers, when we look at what GWS can offer, which isn't exactly exciting for the value of Jake Stringer and Mr. Stringer. Let's have a look what they may or may not do. So let's present this one to you. Got loads of fun stuff to show you today. I'm actually excited. So let's have a look. If we look at GWS here, GWS is their picks. So they haven't got exactly the most exciting picks in the world, but I mean, I would say when you look at Essendon's picks, Essendon have got a bit of business to do. So Josh Rotham looks set to stay. Finn McGuinness looks set to stay. Kruger and Pryor are still them two players that are on the out. They've only got 9 and 31. So remember, 9 pushes Isaac Keiko. 31 covers a Keiko bid, though, to an extent. This is going to be a really interesting one because I reckon 37 and 53 probably get you Jake Stringer. and Jake Stringer and Dylan Shield. It wipes something off the books for them. It gives them picks, gives GWS the 2 players they want, gives them just an extra point and an extra pick in the draft. They'll definitely have an extra pick in the draft, which could go to someone like Jaden Nguyen, the halfback. So that could be a really exceptional one there. So I reckon that's a really simple trade for them. So look out for that. There's Pom's bold call. Dylan Shield, Jake Stringer, 54 and 53 and 37. There's my big call. Reported today, there is 0 interest in Mathew Kennedy, and he will remain at the club. Carlton will lock him away. That's fantastic. But Matty Owies been heavily in the press. We did discuss the 800k. We said it was bullshit. It's turned out it's bullshit. But it looks more and more likely as time goes on, Matty Owies will be a delisted free agent, which will give interest in there. There's been a lot of rumours. There's a fake Twitter account being going around saying that Gold Coast is going to request a trade. Get it out of your heads, people. There is 0 trade value to Mathew Owies. I will tell you now. Gold Coast will be looking at that. Gold Coast will be looking at that deal and saying, look, we'll take him if he's free. He ain't steak knives in a deal for pick 13. So, like, it's complete mystical. But Sydney have not offered Jacob Constanti a contract. So he looks set to be a delisted free agent. So there is one to look at. Thank you very much, BugsBell, mate. I really appreciate you, mate. Thanks. Port do hold all the cards, Paul. Jake Waterman and Riley Garcia have ended their spell on the free agency. They have signed 3-year extensions and 4-year extensions. So there's been a few rumours about both of them. Lawson Humphries, Ted Closey, Jed Buse, Jake Collins, Jasny did it. Finlay McRae is assessing his options at Collingwood. The midfielder who can play forward has been in and out of the Collingwood team, so he may be someone that someone looks at, and that could be a real fascinating deal. I want you to watch this one. Finlay McRae might suit something that Collingwood are looking to do with that. They're looking for adding a bit of depth and a little bit of quality in there. Finlay McRae might be that stopgap that they've got. So this could be a really good one to watch. I reckon Finlay McRae may get some late offers in this window. And a few of you asked about it. I haven't been ignoring you. I keep 2 eyes on chat. Asking about Clayton Oliver, right? And Clayton Oliver, Daniel, good first name, bro. This is a real funny one. We did say Clayton Oliver a couple of weeks ago is guaranteed to leave. The article today says that, and it's one of the funniest articles I've ever read. Geelong are willing to trade him, providing that the Geelong take on the majority of his salary and give a first-round pick. Just showing how cooked our league is, that we have created a news article around the premise of being traded, that you pay the salary and you compromise and you remunerate us with a pick. Absolutely mind-boggling to me that is actually a news article. But he does look set to go, and the conveyor belt in the AFL continues. Is going to be very interesting. Ken, g'day to you, mate. My Hawthorn mate. He's asking, I've heard news that they're looking at Ugur Koken, Ace, as he's called. Wouldn't be a bad get, mate. I mean, he's one of them guys that I think he deserves a second chance. Played a few games. So I do find that quite amusing that he's been delisted. So that would be a good little pickup for you. Let's go through some of your questions. Could we target some of Geelong GWS's picks? I mean, you could do. I mean, you've got to look at what GWS are doing. So let's just have a quick look, Lou, mate. We'll do this together. And Stewson, I'll come up with you as well, mate. 38. So currently they've got 6 list spots, right? Connor Stone looks set to stay, so that's not worry. Peatling looks set to leave, so that's 37. Josh Fahey, they believe, is a contract and offer. And then Wade Dirksen, so that's 36. So that's 8 list spots by my count. Bring these two in, that's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they've got a surplus one. That may happen that they look on the delisted free agency. So, it could do. I think they'll take 15, 16 and 21 to the draft. I genuinely do. I think they'll lose 37 and 53 for the stringer. And then that makes it all hunky-dory. Their list is in good shape there. So that could be a watch this space. You never know what comes up. It's a volatile industry. You never know. And then Richmond's picks. So let's have a look at Richmond's picks. We'll go through this together because you should be very, 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 very tuned. So you look at what Richmond have got to do. They've got 42 picks. Travis, it's a great point. It's a great point, mate. I can't answer you. I mean, GWS, I'd probably rather play for Brisbane, but that's because I hate GWS, Travis. So I hate GWS. But we look at this. They've got, at the moment, they've got, look, 41 list spots, right? So they've got 3 list spaces, right? They're going to lose him. That's 40. They're going to lose him and him. So already we're at, what, 49 minus 3. So, yeah, so look, we've got, what, 30, 29, 28, 28. So it's 38, so that's 6 list spots. No one really linked in, right? So if you look here, these are all up for grabs, basically. But don't worry about that. You'd probably say that these ones here are the ones that have got value. These could be really interesting because I think that's just the easiest deal, right? The easiest deal in the world, if you think about it, is pick 20 for all of them picks because I've got 300 up. And if you remember earlier, 17, 20 or whatever it is the maximum you can be in deficit. That stops Brisbane doing that. So that could be a good one. You talked about Essendon. So Essendon, yeah. So Essendon, they've got some interesting ones. 37 minus 44, that's 7. Stringer Shield, 35, so 9 list spots. This is going to be funny what they do because I think that they're going to go really hard. I mean, that could be an offer, you're right. They could go for that. I reckon that the deal we just did there, they'll probably pick him up and pick another pick. So that's 4 players in. So they've still hit the minimum requirement there. They would still hit the minimum requirement if we knock that down to 2. Yeah. So they'd still hit the minimum requirement if they took pick 9, Isaac Caker, 1 more pick, and someone else would be 36. So they'd still hit their minimum. They'd still hit their minimum if they did that. If they took, because that would be like this. The bid that we said would be what? 30. We said it might look something like this. Might look something like this. So that would be good. That would be good. So you'd look there. 9, Keiko would kill that bid. Take a pick. There. So they could still do it. I reckon Essendon might trade a future, though. They might be one of the teams that's looking to trade a future, which I think could be really interesting. So that could be good. So this list management here, my friend, is as it is without killing anyone. So currently, if you do the list spots, 2 rookie spots, 4 rookie A's, 33, and that's with everyone on the list. So if you killed Sam Durden, 6 list spots, it's not massively. Hey there, Tez. How you doing, mate? Unbranded. So if Ray could do PhD on breakdancing, mate, spot on. So yeah, so you'd imagine Carlton are in probably a safe position because they don't really need to get rid of Kennedy. Owies goes, so let's just do that so you can see it. So if Owies goes and Carroll, 31, they'll keep Matt Carroll. Sam Durden we've got rid of. We've brought Matt Duffy onto the list. We've already got Jordan Boyd on the senior list. So there you are. You would have 36 list spots. Oh, wait. There you are. You'd have 32 list spots. There you are. So you'd have, what, 6, 7 list spots? We haven't delisted it. Oh, I'll tell you what. We already played with this. That's annoying. Give me a sec. We'll do that again. We've already played with it. So, right, 36, 4, and 1. Okay, so we had Matt Duffy. We take away Jack Carroll. We take away Sam Durden. We take away Owies. There you are. So Carlton have 5 list spots. 5 list spots based on that. So pick 12, pick 34, So that would be what? 36 meets the minimum. Lucas Camparelli. Oh, yeah. And then Carlton probably could look at a delisted free agent should they want to. But they are going to get another pick in, remember. That's what Carlton are doing. So that's probably how Carlton's list spots look. Interesting little facet there. Good question there. But we've got something exciting for you. We've covered all the news. That is the news for today. Literally nothing happening, chat. Do you know what I mean? So let's have a look at this. We'll do this for you, Trav. Mate, we can do this because we love you. We love you. So currently you've got 3 list spots available, right? And you've got 3 picks. So you'd imagine Devon Robertson and Jackson Pryor are definitely going to go, and I'd say Darcy Craven does, right? So let's just do that. If we do that, that's what, 3 people. So there you are. You've got 6 list spots. So how many picks were we bringing in on Richmond? Yeah, you can still do it, mate. You've still got more than enough list spots. Mate, there you are. There you are. See, we fixed it. We fixed your list management issue. But that will be interesting. So then what we do is we'll go to this other one. So what I've done, got to be a minimum of 37 says, remember? Always ask the question. Always ask the question. So what I'm going to do is, because all of you are going to be looking at the draft, let's get into the draft. So what I've done is I've brought these down into their key cornerstones, right? So what you'll see here is their projected, right? Their projected bid spot, according to me, and the players. So these are the key defenders you're looking out for. You've got the Flying Viking, Alex Taru, who someone's just mentioned in chat. I didn't see it. Let's have a look. Well, one of you said it. Who was it? Whoever said it. Was it BugsBell? Oh, BugsBell. Yeah. So Alex Taru. So yeah, very, very James Sicily type player. Someone to really keep an eye on in this draft. Someone that's come very early. He's quick. He's mobile. He's that nice 193. So he's definitely going to be a big one that you'll target. So the top 5 players we're looking at here. Luke Traynor, my boy. So a bit of concussion issues, but he's come back strong. Going around that pick 16 mark, real solid modern day key defender. A guy that really can lock down well, use the ball well as well. Then you've got Noah Mraz. Big boy, big and strong. Matt Whitlock's there. And then you've got Saints, NGA, Adrian Cole. So these guys are real strong type defenders. All 5 on this list here will be good. This guy here is like that kind of like Harrison Petty when he was down back. Going to be that real good spoiler, real difficult guy. Then you've got like the real X factor in Vogue one, and then you've got like the real modern day key defender, Matt Whitlock, dual position player. So you've got the swingman opportunity. And Adrian Cole could be anything under the right establishment. But these 5 are really, really strong. And guys to keep a look out. Who would the main targets be of Tassie players? Well, in the let's have a look. Tasmania. They right down here. You've got Nathaniel Salzberger. You've got Oliver Dupul Coolbank. So, yeah, probably be looking at that. Probably be looking at them types of players here. I'd say that they'd definitely bring in. Yeah, one's a forward, one's a defender, and one plays in the ruck as well, the forward ruck type guy. And then we'll look at the halfback flankers. These are good day, JD, mate. How you doing? Halfback flankers, these guys are quite exciting. You've got Toby Travalella, one of the guys that I've talked about heavily, elite by foot, incredible engine, can play on the wing, and will probably, very Lockie Whitfield. Think Lockie Whitfield. That type of burst player, high energy, good kick, gets up and down the ground well, will start his career at halfback, will work his way up. Played in the Carlton VFL, definitely a very solid type player. Bo Allen plays wing and halfback. We tried to judge this on players that we think will play halfback year 1. Bo Allen, very incredible player. Could be even a top 10 pick, dependent on what happens. I predict he will slide past pick 11 at Fremantle. Harrison Oliver, if you're looking for cheaps. And remember, the best halfbacks genuinely come from pick 30s and onwards in the AFL historically. Harrison Oliver is really, really entertaining. Very reminds me a lot of Matt Carroll, a player that Carlton have on their rookie list, if you're wanting to look at highlights. Very, very good. Archie Roberts is another one that rings out. Good little rebounder, someone that's got a little bit of pace about him. Lachyjack at Geelong Falcons. Remember, it's like Tassie Tax, Geelong. Always add 7 to his draft position because Geelong cheat. And very good little player. And then Lucas Camparelli. Lucas Camparelli. Do you know what I mean? Lucas Camparelli is on there playing a lot of halfback. Says, to answer the second part of your question, sorry, I didn't see the bit. You don't always have to have 44 because just purely because you never know what's going to happen. So teams genuinely are around that 43, 44 mark, but you've got to also remember after the draft, there's the preseason draft. So that's where them players get picked up, Markov and players like that. So that could be an addition, if you will. That could be that addition. So you don't have to take them all in the draft, and it doesn't always happen as well. So always remember that. It's one of the weird niches in the AFL. So, yeah, keep that in mind. There's no rule on that. There is no rule on that. But up next, we've done key defenders. Let's go to mids. So mids, no surprise, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are mids. So this could be an interesting one. I'll answer your question, Travis, when we get to key forwards. That's a good discussion point. But you've got Levi Ashcroft here, in my opinion, the best player in this draft. Purely Brisbane Academy. He's well trained. He's basically like his brother, but kicks more goals. Very incredible footballer. And for me, if it was an open season, I think he would be pick 1. Number 2, we've gone Jagger Smith. I'm a big fan of Jags. I really do like him. Harvey Langford, pace issues, but I think he will go top 4. Sam Layla slides into the top 4, and Finn O'Sullivan slightly sliding down. Remember my mock draft? I think I had Finn O'Sullivan pick 6. People saying I was crazy. I did check a mock draft today, and he was pick 8. So maybe I was a bit too calm. But they're very good little midfielders there. Like they're all cream of the crop. You've got Sam Walsh's cousin here. You've got 2 guys here who are very big-bodied, break the lines, things like that. Jagger Smith, that real nice utility midfielder, and Levi Ashcroft is just a superstar. And then points of difference mids. So these are the midfielders with a little bit of POD about them. You've got all sorts here. You've got 2 goal-kicking mids and who are strong defensively. Sid Draper and Leonardo Lombardo. Sid Draper, for me, an absolute travesty to be out top 5. Whoever picks him up, I'll tell you what, he's got tracker vibes. Honestly, tracker vibes. Kicks some goals. Xavier Lindsay, guy can hit a target from 10 miles away. Good runner. Murphy Reed, Mr. Consistency. And Ollie Hotton's brother, Taj Hotton. He's a bit of a dynamic. I see a lot of Philippo in this guy. A lot of Philippo in him, so I'm a big fan. Key forward, so Travis asked about Ty Gallup, 194 type player. Going to be interesting what happens with Ty, I think, because I think he might be one of them guys who maybe gets rookied by you guys, may miss out and go into your VFL system. Last year, there was a few times you guys did this with academy players, weren't they? You took, wasn't it a Sydney player last year, Trav? Was it? So that could be a really interesting one. No, sorry, Sydney took one of yours, didn't they? I could see someone taking a little punt on him, mate. I really could do. I could see someone taking a little punt on him. Maybe look at Sydney doing that. Sydney doing the old dodgy, because they've done that before. But key forwards, you've got Harry Armstrong, Job Shanahan, Tom Sims, Jonty Fall, and Matt Whitlock. You asked about the other Whitlock brother. Key forwards here, I want to say this. Harry Armstrong is only above Job Shanahan for his latter season form. I think Shanahan's form throughout the year is better, but I think Armstrong will... the AFL is always favoured towards back-end season height. So they're going to be really, really fascinating ones to watch. Tom Sims, really reliable here. If you were in between and you picked up any of these 3, these are the perfect key forwards if you've got a key forward. Really perfect. Just keep them away. Look after them a little bit. They're really good. And then we go to the smalls. So one of you asked about JasNickSteve Baricevic. Isaac Keiko, for me, is the best small forward in this draft. You saw him in, if you did watch the draft I did with my old mate Dylan, I was huge on him. I'm a big fan of Keiko. He's absolutely supreme. He's going to be a very, very good talent. Joe Barry, been talked about him a lot. I'm a big fan of Beza. He's exciting. He kicks goals. He makes his own goals. And he also works really hard defensively. And he's always active, always busy, which is really important. Hannaford's come in late, another hard work and grafter, kind of in the mould of a Fogarty type player. Very hard working. Jesse Detoli could be one of the guys that's probably the best out of these here at the end, because genuinely this is another position outside of the first round. Generally they go well. It was our list manager Nick Austin who made taking small forwards in the first round a thing. So always want to know. But Jesse Detoli, very, very good. Got all that lightning speed and very exciting. And Malachi Champion, the NGA up at West Coast Eagles, a very good footballer, real exciting type player. And then if you were looking for a ruck in this draft, you've probably got a few issues. There is a few talents there. Alex Dodson's probably the pick of the bunch. Only just though from Kyle Guerin. Look out for Kyle. I'm a big fan of Kyle up at West Perth. Ruck forward, very mobile as well. And he likes it in the onion bag. Jack Whitlock, we've cheated and we've got him in the ruck section because we wanted to talk about him. One of the Whitlock brothers, as we know, very, very solid. He's ruckcraft. He's perfect for that second ruck. If you were going to buy him in as a ruck forward, it's probably a good one. Logan Smith is a real talent. And Billy Richardson, another Brisbane Academy one, but one to watch out for because he is late. And he could be a really exciting type thing. But them players are there. My mate Ken, 33, 71, and 77. Well, I mean, you haven't got a lot of options, really. Let's go down. Right, so that's kind of what you got, mate. It's kind of what you got. Obviously, River Stevens and Hoffman are linked to St Kilda, but I mean, there is some like Cade Herbert was top 10 this time last year, so he could be one of them ones. Tom Katchker, Tom Gillet, do you know what I mean? You may be a dickhead and take them. I do like Jackson Arteminis, I've got to say. He's one of them players that I have been looking about. Luca Greco has got Hawthorn written all over him. But there's a few options. Do you know what I mean? There's a few options. I mean, I think you might just go with delisted free agents. Like, you've got Dom Brew here and stuff. There'll be loads of VFL guys going in. But that is basically, like I said, all we've got for you this week. So hopefully tomorrow we'll have more news, but I'll keep finding things to play with. So if you've got any questions, I'll spend 5 or 10 minutes asking. So if you've got any burning draft and trade questions, we can have a look at that. And make sure you send some in for tomorrow as well, because it might be a quiet day tomorrow. But if you've got any questions you'd like to ask, let it be known, chat. I am merely yours to play with. Shannon, mate, if he falls to Sydney, that would be grouse, wouldn't it? That would be grouse. I think that would be grouse. I think if he falls there, he's a definite lot for you. I do think there's going to be a lot of sliders. I genuinely do. I think a lot will slide. What does Carlton need, and do you think who they should go after? I think with my first round pick, I'd like to go, in my opinion, best available. So, one of Travalala or Luke Traynor, because I think when you've got Nick Haynes there, you've got someone to really bounce off and really learn. And Trainor's definitely got them facets. I reckon if you can get another pick, Carlton have been looking at another pick. I reckon you could maybe target Fremantle, maybe target Gold Coast 21. If you could get Joe Berry, or Dotoli in that. I think you get a dynamic small forward and a key. I think that will be good. So I think that will be interesting. Richmond, yeah, spot on JD. Who do they go pick one? Yeah, they won't bid on him. I still think you'll trade into the top 5 again as well. You know, like as per my thing, which kind of has come true in the draft window. If I had pick one and I was you, I've got a feeling you see if Richmond's needs Sam Layla, I'd have him over Harvey Langford, but I think Harvey Langford is your pick one. I don't think you'll go Jagger. I think you've got enough mids. So I just don't. I don't think you'll go pure mid. I think you'll go mid with dynamicness. Where does Houghton slide? Well, at the moment, I've got him sliding down to 16. I could see that I haven't done a needs analysis. So this isn't needs analysis draft. That'll be done when the trade period's finished. But just looking at the teams around that pick, I could see him going 19, 20. I reckon where the teams are at the moment, they'll start going tall at that back end of the draft. Would be tall at the back end of the draft. So, well, yeah, so that could be interesting. So, might even slide to you. Good point. That does come into it in the draft. We do like it. So, that could be interesting. He suits GWS. Good point. Good point. If Carlton trade, can we get back into the draft? Well, you see, I wouldn't trade pick 12. I want to say pick 12. I wouldn't risk pick 12 until you guarantee you can get another pick. Because a future first and a second is the price for 13, which says to me Carlton have an agreement to get a future second back. Worries me. Do you know what I mean? Worries me a little bit. It does worry me. It has happened. Yes, it has happened. Teams have just picked them up, NGAs and stuff like that. Usually like 70, 55, but it's usually like their last pick. They'll pick it out. Tell you what, shall we play it? Do you want to do it? Shall we do it? Well, hey, Wooden Spoon Data. It would be my honour to do it for you. Okay. Let's do that. Right. Tell you what. Aiden, Toby Traveller. I would. Because I think I can get a key defender back half of the draft. Let's do it. Let me load it up. So what we're going to do is a good friend of mine and this channel, Wooden Spoon Data, came up with a 3-way trade. So this was actually quite a good trade, to be fair. This was actually quite a good trade. Like, bearing in mind, I've seen a lot of silly trades in my time. So, Wooden Spoon Data. So, let's play this game, right? So, let's put it on the screen. So, they've gone 7 and 8. So, he's got a 3-way trade with Saints, Giants, so they've gone 15, 16, and 21. So we'll play this game. We can all do it. Now, remember, be kind as well, because this takes... These are hard work. Like, I live in this industry and do these all the time. So a lot of work goes into these. So let's do it. 2 and 25. 2 and 25. So 2 and 25. Okay, cool. Right, so let's do this. Right, you ready? I'll show you. Right, so we've got these picks here. So let me move here. So let's move here. So let's do this. Right, so in your scenario, let's get it. So St Kilda, because we can play this game pretty easy. Right? So here we are. Saints have these picks, right? And then GWS are going to give these picks. So 15, 17. West Coast Eagles are giving 3 and 26. And North are doing that. Okay. So this is what all teams are selling, right? So let's do this, right? So that will be... That will be that. That will be that. And that will be that. So let's bring that over here. Okay. Right. So we're going to play with this. So in his idea, Saints give up this, but Saints receive 2 and 21. Right. Then Giants receive 3, 25 and 26. Eagles receive 8 and 16. Eight and 16. And North, they would receive 7 and 15. Okay, so let's have a look. That's right. That's right. Okay. So then what we'll do is... So they would send out that. So they get... Let's see what they receive. They receive 200 extra. They receive 600 extra. They receive... So there you are, look. So there we are. So West Coast lose points. Let's break this down right to left. So North, they come out at 2 and 25, but they go 7 and 15. So even though they've narrowed the spread, but I think North don't hate that because they're out of the midfielders and they've covered their midfield. They're right into the guts of good shit. They're right into the goods of points of difference. Eagles, I think, need volume, right? They need volume as opposed to North just want quality. It does spread it, but they're only losing 345. So if you threw in like a future second, let's just say like these guys here, future second, right? And you did that works out. Like that works out. So GWS will be very happy. Saints will be very happy as well. So I don't mind that. You know what? More of them. That is, I'm telling you right now, that's a fair effort. That's a fair effort because it's hard to do. It's hard to do. So Wooden Spoon Data, I thank you. Let's catch up with chat. Do you think need to be come in case? I don't think so. I mean, I'd like to see the VFL filled more with some talent pool players. So I'd like to see players that have got and also a bit more seniority in there. Would Gold Coast take? I think it always has no value. With him looking like a delisted free agent now, I don't think that would sway them. And the fact that they're not targeting a small forward says everything. I would say when you look at value, if you look at it, Joe Richards is worth a 3-year deal and a pick in its 40s. And he's played 8 games. I think that shows you where the AFL landscape does it. West Coast are interested in picking 3. You see, this makes so much sense. And Travis, that was in my... Do you remember my mock draft? That was one of the deals we suggested and people went mental. But I think it makes sense for for Richmond to go into the crux of the draft. West Coast have already had a little bit of that. Could look at poaching Ben if I didn't pick him. A lot of mids in this draft, he might slide a long way. I reckon I reckon Carlton used pick 33. Could we get SDK? I don't think you've got any chance whatsoever of getting Sam de Koning at all. Do you know what I mean? Hey, it's going to be an interesting one. That seems to be taking forever, that deal as well, doesn't it? Be interesting, Membry. I wonder where Membry goes. I think he stays, personally. It's always good. There you are. It's going to be always good. That could work. It's a lot to pay for 3. It's a lot to pay. I mean, you've obviously got to pay it. I do think, what you've got the advantage of this year is when you are doing mock trades, just think future firsts are actually worth less, but they will be valued on this year's system. So people will think that. So when people are throwing in future deals at the moment and going, oh, that's too much, remember next year, the future firsts mean literally jack diddly squat. So it's always interesting. So that could be one of them ones to really watch out for. But you know what, chat? I've really enjoyed this. And I'll be back tomorrow. So make sure you hit the like button and make sure you subscribe. Give this a share. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. Really appreciate it. So I will see you tomorrow. Peace, love, and light. Pommy out.